I'm back. I don't know if I want to flick my hair though. It was kind of looking nice like that. It's a bit unbalanced sort of style. I don't know. Maybe that one's better. Yes, definitely. Welcome back. All right. I'm up. I had some coffee kind of late, so why not come on here and plow through this book that I'm loving and be a conduit for other people to come in and listen. Okay, y'all, and this, I have to give a shout out to this. First time trying this. I've tried to get it a number of times. The strawberry basil mint sparkling water. It's good. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, get comfy, get nice and cozy. We're gonna be doing some story time. And I already was earlier today looking at this book, and I was looking at the photographs that he included in it. So I thought it might be fun to open that up and look at it, just to get kind of an idea of how he was. It's been it's been interesting looking at them. So. Oh, you know what? Before I even get started, I wanted to share something biblical. Yeah, God put it on my heart, y'all. So I better get my Bible here and pull up the psalm that I'm to share with you. Oof. Ow. All right, let's pull it up here. One moment. And, say hi if you're watching. Let me know if you've made it in. Okay. Yeah, this is a good one. All right, so the verse I'm going to be sharing is Psalm 73. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it touches you. Those of you are good enough to be joining me already. We already have Mark Adams in the chat. Good evening, Mark Adams. And Court Green, to another lovely gentleman. How goes it? It goes good. It goes good. It's been a nice day. Productive, I suppose, to a certain degree, as much as I could do, within reason. And, also a bit silly and messy, actually. Bit of a messy day. I swore. I jumped into a conversation on Missing Matt Mod's channel, and I swore. I think I said the F word at someone. I'm pretty sure it was the F word. This person was kind of interrupting me, but I lost my cool. And then I jumped into the Discord during Nick's flight. And I don't know, I kind of got a little awkward in there too. I was like, you talk to your girlfriend what way? Oh my God. Hi, Batman. It's me, Catwoman. You're always seriously silly. Good. Oh, you like the white nails? Thank you. I don't know. White nails I never know if I really like them. They look good on camera, though, I have to say. I do like the way they look on camera. They show up interestingly. So, but yeah, kind of up close, especially at first. I don't know. Every time I paint them white, I'm kind of like, oh, do I like this or not? I don't know. It's good. You don't read the Bible. You don't need to. I'm here. I'm going to read it to you. Not the whole thing, of course. Show them nails, girl. Well, the Psalms are, most of them written by King David. right? Or all of them. I don't know. They're all by David, aren't they? Let me know if you know in the chat. I might appear ignorant. I'm ignorant about much. But this one is of Asaph. Asaph. I don't know. Okay, so let us just get into this. We got people watching, and I don't want it to take up forever. So let's get started with the Psalm 73. Truly, God is good to Israel, to such as pure in heart. But as for me, my feet had almost stumbled. My steps had nearly slipped, for I was envious of the boastful when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no pangs in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, nor are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride serves as their necklace. Violence covers them like a garment. Their eyes bulge with abundance. They have more than heart could wish. They scoff and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walks through the earth. Oof. Let us continue. Therefore his people return here, and waters of a full cup are drained by them. And they say, how does God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly, who are always at ease. They increase in riches. Surely I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my hands in innocence. For all day long I have been plagued, and chastened every morning. If I had said, I will speak thus, behold, I would have been untrue to the generation of your children. Interesting verse, okay. When I thought how to understand this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of God. Then I understood their end. Surely you set them in slippery places. You cast them down to destruction. Oh, how they are brought to desolation as in a moment. They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awakes, so Lord, when you awake, you shall despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was vexed in my mind. I was so foolish and ignorant. I was like a beast before you. Nevertheless, I am continually with you. You hold me by my right hand. You will guide me with your counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. Whom have I in heaven but you? And there is none upon earth that I desire besides you. My flesh and my heart fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For indeed, those who are far from you shall perish. You have destroyed all those who desert you for harlotry. But it is good for me to draw near to God. I have put my trust in the Lord God, that I may declare all your works. There you go. I hope the reading of Psalm 73 touched you. Came into me again today. It's one that comes up quite a bit. There's certain lines from it that really hit, Well, anyway, when that word hits you, oh my, what can you do? Slippery places equals slopes, the ones feminists can't see. What do you mean by that? Why are you bringing the feminists into it? Slippery slopes. The Joker's always trying to be Batman. I'm like David. I'm a man after God's own heart. I like to think that I am. That's true. It is just a word. It's usually a word used to police women. They reject them as a thing. What, the concept of slippery slopes? Yeah, what? Like what, for example? Like what, for example? Give me an example. I don't know. I can't put it together in my pretty little head. Teach me Irish Republic. Okay. Let's get into this. Smoke on it. I probably won't, honey. It's just probably going to go in one ear and out the other. Okay. So let's look at these cute little pictures that, oh, me and my demeaning little comments. I've been thinking about that when I do that to men. When I'm like, oh, you're little this, oh, you're little that. I don't know. It's probably not the right thing to do. Anyway, so he wrote, my horrific childhood as the caption to this first image, which is just so adorable. Okay, yeah, it's not, trying not to get the glare on it, but look at him. Like this dear little boy. Oh my goodness. Don't you just want to scoop him up? Don't you just want to scoop him up and give him a kiss on that little perfect head? I can see why. I bet, he was very young when his parents divorced and his mom caught herself a new man. Even better than the first one. Well, doubtful, but, I can see how his little preciousness must have, I can see how this guy was like, aw, wanted to look after his sweet little self. Okay, so here's a sweet picture of him with his brothers. He's in a pram. This is in 74. I forget what year he was born, but yeah, he's a little wee one here. Look at that. So dear. And then there's his family. His dad was handsome, y'all. That's his mom, dad, and brothers. Very handsome father. I can see why he was so popular. I mean, his mom's attractive as well. Mildly attractive. I don't know. Hey, she caught two husbands, so she knew what she was doing with what she got. Let's see. All right, yeah, this is his mother. Oh God, he's so dear in this photo. I can't. I'm just like, oh, this little boy. So precious. Look at him. Kind of, yeah. See him there? That is his mother and stepfather and brothers on their wedding day. On his mother's wedding day to Derek. There she is with Derek in their new home as they're remodeling. And then look at him. Look at him. Isn't he a dear little boy? Like, oh my goodness. I'm just like, so, yes, beautiful white people. Aren't they beautiful? You got some white excellence there. Excellence. You were in high school in 73. Wow. Oh my God. Look at this little goober. Look at him. I just drop my bookmark. Isn't he sweet? Robert Webb is an English comedian. He's famously in the show Peep Show. It's my favorite TV show of all time. That tied with Upstairs, Downstairs. So, highly recommend you check it out. Everybody should watch it. It's peak cringe humor. So yeah, he's one of the main actors in that, but he's done a lot of different, comedy work. Yes, look at these beautiful white children. Oh my goodness. There he is. He hasn't mentioned his sister yet, but yeah, there he is with his sister. Here he is as a teenager in one of his comedy things. Yeah, it's quite sweet. Okay, and then look at this. Here he is, his student picture. Look at him. Girls thought he was cute. I mean, come on. And then these are some of his artistic photography he took as a young man after he moved in with his father. Let's make white babies. Oh dear, Batman loves Jesus. I thought you were black. Aren't you black? Oh my God. Oh, okay. He's fine. I can't even. Look at him. As a young man, look at him. And there he is with his brothers. His brothers it's so cute how his brothers are matching and then he's all different. And look at that hair. That hair was something. I remember when I was, a young girl, boys had that hair and that hair used to drive me wild. I don't know. When guys had that length, you don't see it as much. It's not, they don't wear it that much like that anymore. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. I'm going to stop. But yeah, he's cute, Let's see what else we got here. Oh, here he is with David Mitchell, his comedy partner. They've done a million things together. They also co-star together in the show Peep Show. Here's him in a drag shot for when he did the comedy thing. Oh, here he is with let's see, Mark Heap, Stephen Fry, and Carrie Fisher. I guess he was in a play with Carrie Fisher. But yeah, Carrie Fisher, Stephen Fry, there he is. You're caramel mocha, you're Hispanic. Are you Puerto Rican? Oh, and here's the last photo he included, which is on his wedding day to his wife, Abigail. I was really admiring her dress. I kind of am wondering if I could find online more pictures of their wedding just because I want to see that dress more, but I was liking the way it was laying on her. It's very simple but elegant, mature as well. And I like the open neck thing as well. I like to see women's clavicles. I don't know. It's very, especially if done right, it's very elegant and refined. Anyway, so yeah, he got himself a little pretty wife and some pretty white babies. Your parents are Nicaraguan. Oh, okay. Indeed, she's wearing a dress. People don't realize that the New Kids on the Block was an Irish band. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. Irish excellence, I guess. There we go again. They hate us because they ain't us. Okay. So chapter 5 is titled Boys Are Never Teachers' Pet. And I have to think about it. Yeah, usually most of the time there was, I don't know, there were occasional teachers I had that would have boys as teachers' pets. I didn't know. I did have one teacher who definitely had some favorites that I can remember. It really would depend on different years and different classes. So every now and then boys would make it to that top level. But I think most of the time when you think of a teacher's pet, it's usually a girl, right? That well behaved, quiet, but, active and usually high achieving female student, Every class has one. And they're usually the pet. And they're usually like willing to help the teacher with stuff, I remember, yeah. Was I ever the teacher's pet? I think I was to a degree, not completely. You know what? Fourth grade, I definitely was. And you know what? First grade, too. Mrs. Elliott really did take an interest in me, and so did Mrs. LeBlanc. They both really did. I remember when I had to move in second grade. So I ended up getting her as my teacher for second grade as well. And then we had to move mid-year. And she cried when she found out I was leaving, which was really touching. I never forget her. Anyway, I did not have a very good experience first entering school, so she was a godsend. She knew exactly how to work with me. I really enjoyed my time at that school. It was an interesting one. The next school I went to was slightly, I don't know, it was better in some ways and not in others. But anyway, boy bands are for boys and little girls. That's right, Court. I never got into New Kids on the Block, really. I've never really listened to them. I think maybe I could name one of their songs or maybe two. I can't. And that right now that I said that, I'm not conjuring up anything. New Kids on the Block. Come on, Terry. You got anything? I got nothing. The Right Stuff. Okay, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if that was them. And actually, it didn't come to mind, to be honest. Hello, Samuel. New Kids on the Block. I never really liked any boy bands. I think I was like right at a critical age where, I don't know, boy bands just really, they weren't around, or I wasn't really cognizant of them at the time when I think I needed to be in order to really get into them. But I definitely was a fangirl about, like, I was in love with Prince for about a year when I first discovered his music. I just thought he was, the most amazing thing. And now when I think about it, I'm kind of like, but, respect. Anyway, yeah, I'm thinking of other like bands that I felt that way about. I think maybe he's the only one, or like, no, yeah, kind of, probably. I don't think I ever had that for any other like music, band, artist, anything like that. So I never really got into boy bands. Then by the time, I think when like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC came out, I was in middle school, and I was already edgy enough at that point to really reject, mainstream teeny bopper culture. And I kind of been groomed for that in a large way too, I would say. I kind of just had a revulsion towards that stuff at that time. And I got into more like, I got into a lot of music at that time. It was really a big time of discovery. Yeah, I have heard the Batman soundtrack by Prince. Of course I have, many times. I had it on cassette. You liked Hanson? Oh yeah, they're a boy band. I did like that Mbop song when it came out. I didn't really get into them though. I liked Savage Garden. Are they like, I feel like the boy bands that I can think of, they're like actually playing instruments. Like there's no, band where it's just like a bunch of guys with mics singing and dancing that I'm into. Maybe Jedward a little bit. Jedward's a boy band. Okay, but I was like a total adult when I got into Jedward. And you know what? They're sweet boys. They wrote to me twice in DMs. They like DM'd me out of nowhere twice to like just chat with me, say hi, and like, be sweet to me as a fan. And I was like, I remember the first time it happened, like, and it was in years in between these experiences. But yeah, if you like their stuff or comment on it, they will message you eventually and like give you a shout out. So anyway, I remember the first time it happened though, I was like on my break and I went to check my phone and I like squealed. I squealed and my boss at the time, she like looks over like, what the? So I guess, yeah, but I was an adult. That's different. It's like not the same. And Jedward are special. I mean, Jedward are in a class of their own. They're Irish twins. I mean, how often does that come around? Yeah, I squealed. I was like, oh my God. And they were funny. They're like, we have a fan in Ireland named Terry that looks like you. How you doing, Terry? And I'm like, I'm doing good now that I got a message from Jedward. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, my Twitter is long gone. My Twitter is thankfully a remnant, a vestige, a past thing. What am I trying to say? It's no longer with us. It was taken out mercifully. But there were some good times I had on there with Jedward. Why did I get on this? Y'all, come on. I'm supposed to be reading. I'm almost half an hour in. I guess I did read Psalm 73, though. So we have gotten some good content out so far. And if you don't know about Jedward, I mean, check them out. They're John and Edward. Together they are Jedward. Well, you better watch it being your primary news source because there is a lot of fake news on Twitter as well. Court says this is his only so-called social media footprint. Good for you. What's a good Jedward song? Yeah, they don't really have good songs. I'm not into them for their music. All right. So yeah, this chapter is boys are never a teacher's pet. If my father had hugged me even once, I'd be an account. Let me clear my throat. Sorry. If my father had hugged me even once, I'd be an accountant right now. Ray Romano. Zelda Linseed is pushing her luck. She's already in trouble for covering her English exercise book with a smash hits double spread of Paul Young and writing bum fluff with an arrow pointing at Young's armpit hair. Everyone was supposed to cover their exercise books to make them last longer. At home, my own method had been to find a roll of anaglypta wallpaper in a cupboard and attack it with some very large scissors. I loved wrapping my books in school. Did y'all do that? I did that. We got when I first did it, we did the thing with the paper bags, paper grocery bags. Got them one time just so that I would be able to do it. And I wrapped, some of my school books with that. But then I found that they sold book covers that you could just slip on and off of your books that protected them. Once I found those, I wasn't doing that anymore. Hello, Simple Grace. Yeah, the stretchy book covers. You know the ones. Those ones were, when those came out, I was like, although I did enjoy drawing on my school book covers or like designing them, like, you know, what class it was. I did find that fun. So I don't know. Memories of when we were young, alas. The result made my school books look like they'd each grown an asymmetrical beige crust. You could stack them in a pile with all the ease of balancing 10 clams. Surveying my efforts, Mom took pity and bought me some brown parcel paper. But Zelda is a rebel. She's compounding her bum fluff transgression by chatting now at a high volume with Tiffany Rampling, still the younger sister of Tess Rampling. Tess Rampling's the girl he was like crushing on at the age 15, who's an older girl, mind you. Courts. Good for you, Court. Okay, compounding her bum fluff transgression by chatting now at a high volume. Okay, let's see. While our new form teacher is trying to speak. Our new form teacher is not the benign dictator of the Mrs. Broccoli style. This one will endure a certain level of background natter right up until the moment she won't, at which point her own unique approach to class discipline kicks in. I don't know. I've never been a teacher, so I don't know what it is like to deal with this, but I feel like I wouldn't be tolerating mild transgressions. Like, don't be talking when I'm talking. I'm the teacher. I'll give you time to chat after I'm done. All right? Rude. Or you can leave my class. Okay? That we got that. All right. I just feel like, yeah, I found that those classes went better, the teachers that took that approach, than to the ones that let it be chaotic. And then they would explode, you know? Yeah, it spirals. Exactly. You gotta just have a strict kind of thing as a teacher. But I'm not a teacher, so what do I really know? But I just from my observation point as a student, maybe I'm a teacher. Are y'all learning anything? Are we learning something together in this ride that we're on right now? I think so. I'm learning things. Hopefully you are too. Okay. Mrs. Slater turns in the general direction of the noise and says, Zelda, Tiffany, you appalling dogs, please be quiet. I'm trying to explain how you can make good on the crimes of your predecessors. Oh my God. How you can make good on the crimes of your predecessors. Or predecessors. I think predecessors. They both work, right? Tomato, tomato. I've heard them pronounced both ways. Zelda and Tiffany are cartoonishly open-mouthed at being addressed as dogs. It seems to me that Slater is using the word like a pirate might, to mean cur or wretch. That's already quite full on. But what Zelda and Tiffany obviously heard was the teenage slang that boys use to describe girls who won't have sex with them. For example, Madonna is a right dog. Oh yeah, that's a very common tactic. Any ladies in the chat been through that one? We've all been there. I didn't want you anyway. Like, okay, wow. Anyway, we're in the library and it's a getting to know you session, not only for Mrs. Slater and Form 1B, shortly next year to become Form 2S, but also our first close-up of encounter with the Dewey Decimal Classification System. Who learned the Dewey Decimal System? Raise your hand in chat if you did. Press 1 if you knew about Dewey Decimal and if you ever used it in a library. You're a real one if you know. And can you still do it to this day? Y'all silly. You did not eat your gum. Yeah, you might have. Hey, kids are weird. Kids are weird. Okay. They do weird things. We're in the library. It's funny. Yeah, calling him a dog. See, yeah, that's the thing. When the teacher lets it go too long or doesn't instill that kind of discipline, then yeah, they tend to snap and just it's not good. It doesn't do much to command respect, you know. Is that surprising? Play-Doh salty. What am I gonna do with y'all? What am I gonna do with y'all? Is it because I'm reading to you? You're feeling quite young. Okay. The crimes she refers to are the way some books have been sloppily returned to the wrong place. We're going to spend half the lesson sorting that out and the second half just reading on our own. Much as I've grown fond of Miss Wayne now that the endless step has finally ended, I can't imagine her describing the act of misplacing a library book as a crime. This new English teacher talks the way I suddenly decide all English teachers ought to talk, with an obvious delight in the abundance and ironic possibilities of English. She'll make jokes that no one gets. She'll use vocabulary that no one understands. She'll talk to a class of 12-year-olds in roughly the same way she talks to a class of 18-year-olds. It's like a teacher of Spanish conducting a lesson exclusively in Spanish. It's our job to keep up. This won't always make her popular. The fact that she obviously doesn't give a shit about that is another reason I immediately like her. Okay, okay. I like it. God bless to you as well, see now and know. Yeah, I liked teachers like that. I like how he's describing her. I like teachers that had high standards and like didn't dumb it down. I'm glad Terry reads to me too. Makes me think I'm dumber than I really am. Oh, is that good? Maybe it is good. Maybe we all need to be humbled in that way sometimes. I didn't take Spanish. I took Russian, Latin, and French, but I didn't. I never took a Spanish class. I studied a bit on Duolingo, but I don't know. I never really picked it up much. Ms. Vargas, yes. I loved French class. I definitely paid attention to that. And in Latin, I loved Latin too. And in Russian, but I found the lessons were kind of hard to follow. But I still got a lot out of it. I find it's interesting, like with learning languages, I don't know, I don't want to say that completely. No, French definitely was made a lot of sense. My French lessons made a lot of sense. I got a lot out of those. Hola, Gregatron. In Florida, they teach Spanish class. Really? How interesting. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's good to know some Spanish. I do understand a bit of it. Just having studied it on my own or like, you know, picked it up. And also just understanding French and Latin, you can sometimes make things out a bit. I don't know. Latin was definitely, I don't know, a good thing to have under my belt. I ended up in Mommy Africa, where all they spoke was French. I was a lost sheep in the midst of wolves. Yes, Italian. All the romance languages, yes. Indeed, yeah. Has anyone ever studied Esperanto? Anyone on Duolingo? I've done quite a number of lessons on Duolingo. That I've done the Esperanto one. That one's interesting. Um, I can't even remember really any Esperanto though now. I feel like it's just not one that I really took to. It's an interesting concept though. I like that they have that lesson available. And they have a Latin one, which is good. You can study it. The owl hates you. It doesn't hate you. You're super duper romantic. Oh, good. Doing French. Good, good. Yeah. Okay, well, back to this. Back to this. Having done some reordering, we get a few minutes to choose a book to read by ourselves and then borrow. I head straight for D in fiction to find Terrance Dicks, my favorite Doctor Who author. I'm slightly ashamed of this because I know I ought to be looking for something more grown up, like, I don't know, Agatha Christie or something. Dix isn't a proper author in that sense. He's just good at adapting TV stories into books. Amazingly, there's one here and I haven't got it at home. Doctor Who and the Horns of Nimon. An old hardback from the Tom Baker days. I love Tom Baker, definite favorite Doctor Who. Anyone else? I'm just reading the blurb on the back when suddenly Mrs. Slater is at my side. Ah, a Doctor Who fan. I nod sheepishly. She frowns at the book. I'm a bit of a sci-fi ignoramus, I'm afraid. You'll have to tell me what I'm missing. I blink at her. What now? She half smiles and nods, still looking at the book. Well, I like the stories. That's a start, she says, it to my elbow. I get the feeling that I'm only going to be rewarded with eye contact when I come out with something vaguely interesting. Well, I like it that you already know what the characters look like. Because you've seen them on TV? Yeah, I suppose. I feel like the world's stupidest wanker. I've got quite a few of these at home. She looks straight at me. You're a collector? Yes. You're not going to pinch this, are you? What? I mean, sorry? You're not going to add this one to your collection. Oh, Christ, no. Oh, am I allowed to say Christ? The panic makes her smile, and then she takes a beat for herself, scanning the shelves. Pity, she says. Nobody steals from the library anymore. It's a bad sign. Anybody else ever stole from the library? Press 1 in the chat if you've ever stolen from the library. She's smart. She starts to move off and then, almost as an afterthought, smart chap, you know what you like. Enjoy it. Yes. We've got some thieves in the chat. Yeah, I've stolen from the library too. God forgive me. I repent. I will never do it again. But yeah. Thousands in late fees. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, we shouldn't have done that, but it's funny that his teacher said that. It's funny. And it's good. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Does anybody else collect books? I kind of do. I kind of do. I have some books that are definitely like, or certain things I look for in books that, I want to have that. So I get when, yeah, something like this happens. Anyway, I'm relieved that the encounter is over, although I have no idea whether I've just been encouraged or ridiculed. On balance, I'm pleased. I look down at the blurb again. I see that the story was based on the Greek myth of the labyrinth of Knossos. I wonder if that K is silent or if you're meant to pronounce it as in Willy Wonka's pernicious NIDS. It also says that Nemone is a play on Minotaur. Minotaur. Damn, I wish I'd said that. The point of science fiction, Mrs. Slater, I should have said, is the same as the point of any other fiction, to take the world and reimagine it, to refresh our understanding of human beings by imagining ourselves in a different place or time. But no, I mumbled about having a book collection. The fact that it was a collection that I spent time actually reading seemed to help for now. But it wasn't enough. I'm suddenly in a terrible hurry to impress Mrs. Slater, but it'll have to be done quietly. It's important in a teacher to inspire. That's it. Yeah, I did have. Press 1 if you had any inspirational teachers. No, I don't have nightmares about the library police. Robert Greene. Yeah, I don't think prisoners need to be reading 48 Laws of Power. No. I mean, maybe they do. It's a good book. I recommend it. I've read it a couple of times, actually. Okay, Batman Loves Jesus. Batman Loves Jesus, read it in jail. All right. Yes, Samuel. I have a collection too of like books that were printed in the Soviet Union. I'm like, yeah, these are my treasures. My girl and I just wrote a horror film starring you as the villain. It's brilliant. Oh, I'm glad I could inspire you. How wonderful. Are you going to write it out in emojis? The Art of Seduction. I like The Art of Seduction too. That was a good one. I mean, it was really revealing. You bet. Okay, yeah. Let's see what dirty thing Yoda is going to say. He's a dandy. A dandy. Oh, dear. Art of the Deal is good, too. Art of the Deal. I haven't read that, actually. Yes, Yoda, we're waiting. And the carrot seed. I'm not familiar with that either. After the lesson, Pete Garvey catches up with me in the corridor. He's been sitting opposite me and tucking into Right Ho Jeeves. It won't exactly be shouting that from the rooftop. He won't exactly be shouting that from the rooftops either. Oi, Webb, was that Slater on? What was Slater on you about? Okay, this is, Northern English. Let me attempt that again. Let me attempt this again. Once the teacher saw the car, he passed me. Oh, well, that's good. That's a good story. Okay, let me try this again. Oi, Webb, what was Slater on at you about? A few other boys are tagging along with him. Oh, God, something about what book I was reading. She's a nosy fucker. Exactly. I told her it was none of her fucking business. Haha, apparently her first name is Heather. Oh, God, Heather. What a massive spastic. I know, we're going outside after lunch for a bit of ball death. Oh, great, more ball death. The rules of ball death are easily explained. We take it in turns to be the kicker. If you're not the kicker, you're one of the runners. The runners line up on one side of the exterior brick wall of the sports hall and then one at a time run from one side of it to the other. As they do so, the kicker kicks a football as hard as possible from close range at the vicinity of the runner's testicles. If the kicker's aim is not initially true, rebounds from the wall are allowed. If one is a runner, it is illegal to protect one's balls. One must simply run with one's hands in the air whilst hysterically screaming ball death. This is so silly. Oh, that's nice, Simple Grace. You can read her the name. Oh my goodness. As the slowest runner and the worst kicker, I find the game to be of limited appeal. I say to Garvey, cool, count me in. Jesus, it was better when we just watched the shit breakdancing. What do girls do with their time? They seem to just mill about talking. We assume they're talking about how immature we are. That seems to be their main thing at the moment. Of course, it's always possible that they're not talking about us at all. Indeed, Point Fire. One should be protecting the family jewels at all time. Every family has a last family holiday, assuming there was ever a first one. It's the one that everyone enjoys so much. They quietly agree never to do it again. I don't mean the odd break or visit. I mean the full English tri-generational package piss up in Spain. I was 12 in the summer of 1985, and this was my third and final experience of it. Of watching my beloved elders becoming maudlin and argumentative in a swimming pool context from happy hour till bedtime. It had never bothered me before, but it was much worse this year, and with good reason. Nan had just died of cancer, aged 64. The phrase, it's what she would have wanted, really comes into its own when you've got a foreign holiday booked and then someone in the party dies. It was perfectly true, of course. Nan was a lot of fun and would have been very cross at the idea of Dardar, Trudy, and Mum canceling a holiday and wasting all that money just because they were grieving for their wife, sister, and mother. So we're going anyway. We're being tactful. I mean, indeed. You just black their mouths. Derek stayed at home because Derek didn't do holidays. Mark stayed at home because while Mum was out of the country, he was secretly planning to buy a Ford Capri that he couldn't quite afford. Andrew came along and was nice to me for 2 weeks, which I found unnerving. I wasn't invited to Nan's funeral. Bit weird. 12 is plenty old enough for your grandmother's funeral, isn't it? I suppose we're not very death literate in our family. 12 is old enough to watch Only Fools and Horses in a small living room with 4 people smoking in it, and it's old enough to be constantly encouraged to climb trees and canoe off the end of the Niagara Falls for the sake of some fresh air. But we protect 12-year-olds from funerals, or at least I was protected from this one. I was at John and Trudy's house on that Saturday morning for the arrivals. Everyone looked amazingly smart. We have extended family from Boston and Cambridge, and the house became quite full. I sat on a chair next to the door to the kitchen, and my uncles, whether they were actual uncles, great uncles, or just friends of my parents or grandparents, all did a strange thing when they walked past me. To start with, they would be talking to each other and to various wives, looking serious and worried, like grown-ups. But on seeing me, the sad face would become a smile, and then on their way to the kitchen, they would pretend to beat me up. One after another, for about half an hour, my male relations walked past me, smiling broadly and doing a, ooh, I've got to give you such a punch in the gob mime. Oh God, this sounds horrifying. I mean, yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, I do see that. I've seen this with like children in these kind of circumstances. Yeah, people do behave kind of inappropriately regarding they'll be all solemn and, and then they see the kid and then it's like smile and they're like, hey, smile, punch. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's one of the ways I think that kids, yeah, sometimes that infantilization of kids are like, I don't know. It's a weird way to interact with children. But it's like second nature almost. Yeah, is that your fantasy, Batman? Is that what you're into? You better watch your mouth in my chat and how you describe me. Do I believe in hitting kids? I mean, yeah, I don't really know. I understand how it can happen and I understand why some people do it, but I don't know. It feels wrong. Hey, Savannah, come in here and write that short horror story starring Terri. Oh, you're going to have help? Is this your dime that you were describing? Your boo? Are we going to meet Tar Baby Yoda's troll girlfriend? Oh my God. I hate y'all. I hate y'all. Hi, Savannah. Oh Lord, what's gonna happen? Oh man, I'm scared. We gotta call on the Holy Spirit to strengthen me. What's gonna happen? Aw, shucks. Yeah, you prefer Sarah Smiles. Okay. Oh my goodness, Batman. Your perception of me is interesting. I wonder what about me comes across in such a manner that you think that in any way. That I'm doing any of that. I'll hurt your feelings if you want. That's about it. Oh my goodness. So silly. All right. Okay. The style varied from a fist patted against a flat palm with the nodding, you're going to get it, to a left hook millimeters from my nose. Uncle Alec did a fully committed slow motion headbutt. It took ages. Oh my God, how horrifying. I sat there sipping lemonade. They were being nice. God knows I didn't want them to hug me for aftershave reasons alone. But all the pretend thumping and crushing of the child on the day of his grandmother's funeral did strike me as a bit peculiar. Yeah, it is weird. I had my tea at Roger's house. His mom, Sue, dished up the beans on toast and said, I'm sorry about your Nan, Robert. I didn't even know she was poorly. Roger was respectful of the moment. We played on his Vic 20 and then sat until it was dark in his dad's car, hailing for intelligent life through the CB radio. Roger's dad was a truck driver and Raj had set up or had picked up some of the gist. He set the channel to 14 and we took it in turns to invoke the CB mantra, one for 1-4 for a copy, 1-4 for a copy. Eventually, we got a copy. How many candles you burning? Came the friendly question. Roger looked at me. I whispered, he must mean birthday cakes. He's asking how old we are. Roger nodded and responded, copy that, amigo. We're 12. We're burning 12 candles, mate. Our CB amigo chatted with us for a couple of minutes and then signed off. It was a bit of an anti-climax, to be honest. Oh, Morrissey's live. You know I'm opening that up. Sorry, y'all. Instagram.
It's like an old pair of waffles. I can't see that. I'm sorry. Do you understand each other? Back to the bench where your clothes were snowing. This is the coast of the town, and they forgot all the time. Come on again, come on again, come on again.
He's wearing an Elvis t-shirt, y'all. Face on your face. He's very popular amongst Hispanics. He has a huge Hispanic following. And yeah, it's white excellence. Yeah. Oh my God, y'all stop. Someone left a nice comment. You know he's cooked when he has a residency in Las Vegas, like Wayne Newton. I went to see Morrissey in Vegas. It's cool. It's fun. People people want to have fun. And they've been doing well. You know what? The night I went to see him was when, let's see, what was it, 2021? They sold out of all the merchandise in the shop. And it was like they had a whole storefront full of Morrissey um, merchandise, and they completely sold the entire shop, like everything. And they broke records that night for sales. They announced it. It was like, so he's a big deal. His fans are really rabid, like me. Hi, D. John Paul. So, for once in my life, I made it once. Lord knows it would be the first time. He's an Anglo king. He's technically Irish. He's technically Irish. Morrissey is an Irish name. Don't get it twisted. Those eyes are Irish eyes. That's so true. That's a good point. Yeah, I know. They're making hella money. He's making his money. Whatever. Haters gonna hate. People love to hate him. They hated Jesus too. All right. That's all I'm gonna say about that. About people. Well, thank you, not Stacey. Thank you, Savannah, for the story. It's nice that it's coming along. Isn't Tar Baby Yoda's girlfriend cute? I hope crime is slow in Gotham tonight. Indeed it is. Are we going to get another song or are they going to cut it off? I'm wondering. I love that they're broadcasting it on his Instagram. It's so dope. Is this Jack the Ripper? Maybe. Ooh, the effects are pretty awesome. You got lots of fog. Oh, yeah. He's 65 now. Yeah. Officially elderly. Is he? He's so precious. Such a sad song. His Elvis t-shirt looks like the sleeves are either rolled up or cut off. Oh, he's ripping his shirt. Is he gonna rip his shirt off? Oh, y'all. Damn, Stacy. I hope to. God willing. Oh no, is Freddie gonna get kidnapped by this witch? What will happen to poor Freddie Jenkins? I resemble Rachel from Blade Runner. How exciting. I do, don't I? I see what you mean. Yeah, I like the color pink. I like the pink filter. It's nice. I like most of the colors, but pink is very soothing. It's soothing to me to have it on. I'm sorry, we got to prioritize Morrissey here. I'm sure the sound of it is horrible. I'm playing it on my phone. I don't even know how much of it's coming through. I haven't even liked it. I better give it some hearts. Ooh, love from Algeria here. Are we going to get another song? That's right. It's my channel. That's right. What is this? The Terri Strange channel. I only caught one of the other lives, so I'm kind of like... Chat going off here on Instagram. It's exciting. What's he gonna do? Oh my God, what's gonna happen? He went off the stage briefly, it looks like. Court has blue eyes. I have brown eyes. I'm not white as Heil. Definitely not white as Heil. I'm not dramatic. What are you talking about? Oh, we got some Spanish here. Oh dear. Morrissey, why you gotta get involved in all that? Oh, who else is here?
Thank you to our beloved crew for this journey is that I find I love
He loves me. I love you too, Morrissey. Oh yeah. But by Satan, y'all crazy. All right, we've reached the time limit on Instagram. I have a time limit set, so we'll let it be. Amazing, Morrissey, huh? We know I love him. Oh, I got a comment. Oh, that's so sweet. Missing Maud is so encouraging. I told you all how I swore earlier today. I was interacting with a female to male transitioner, and she was a bit much, and I just, the hell came out of me. I didn't know how to deal with it, but I was like, but yeah, missing Maud. Let me just read this out loud. I don't want to forget that you did so awesome today. You nailed it. Literally what you said about female to male trans people having issues with women was proven by the end. I love your spirit and how you never back down. It's inspiring, and I'm so grateful we met. Dang, that's nice. Terri mean-spirited one, it is what it is. I'm not a gypsy. Don't call me that. I'm not a gypsy. I'm settled. I'm not no traveler. She finally corners him, and he's like, hey, Miss Terri, I was just coming up to say hi and be neighborly. And with a smile, Terri stood up. Y'all, I hate y'all. What you is, girl? Cuban, Argentinian, Colombian? Oh, Lord. That's flattering. Latino women are very, usually I find pretty decent women overall. But I'm not one. I'm sorry. I'm not. We'll finish the ending tomorrow. If I'm online tomorrow, she stole my heart, Chew. Did I steal your heart? Oh dear. You're 13% Welsh. Oh, that's good. I think I'm a bit Welsh as well. I don't know how much. I haven't gotten the full breakdown. Definitely Celt, though. Definitely got that going on. I got an orange crush on her. Oh, you got your spine, you got your orange crush, huh? All right, let's continue back with my sophisticated autobiography by an English comedian. All right. Okay. So yeah, they're talking about getting on the CB radio and talking to some random guy. Oh, hey, what you doing? I wonder if is Toucan gonna make an appearance in your story? That'd be nice. REM, yes, yes. Stacy knows. The ending is the best. So see you soon. How nice. Yeah, thanks for showing up, Savannah. I don't know if Char Baby Yoda's leaving with you, but yeah, thank you. How nice. Welsh, more like Spelsh. Those guys are great. Indeed, they are. Definitely really cool. The Welsh people I've known have been really cool. Yeah. Terry, do the kind of chick I would have chased all through the swamp to get at you, but I only chase gators now. They too easy to catch. Indeed, yeah. Well, thank you. That's nice. That's nice of you to say. What, you want your little bit? Come on, it's 10 o'clock. I want to get through this chapter, baby. I'm not going to stay up too late, I promise. I won't stay up too late, I promise. Not like last week or whatever week that was. I won't do that to you. We're not staying up till 2. Based. What's based? What's based? Come on, okay. Okay, let's see. I was mainly disappointed that the man had an accent as if he lived next door. We had both been hoping for some wacky American from the Cannonball Run, or at least BJ and the Bear. Anyway, it was good being with Roger on a night like this. Roger caught the mood and turned on the overhead light. He took out his pocket penknife and offered to make a blood pact about staying friends forever. I looked at the affectionately offered cutting implement and didn't fancy it. Instead, I told him earnestly that he was my best friend. He found that a bit embarrassing because obviously drawing blood would have been more fun. But cometh the hour, cometh the boy, and he said, "You're me best mate too, Rob. I'll not let you down." He never did. Aw. Aw. Friendship is magic, huh, y'all? Welch's grape juice. Oh my. Oh my. You haven't had a popsicle? I had one yesterday. It was amazing. Strawberry. Mm-mm-mm. So tasty. Bit too sweet though. By the end of it, I was sick of it. But they're nice to have when it gets really hot. It has been pretty hot. During the afternoon, it has been getting up there. So anyway, if you're determined to get to Costa Dorada but haven't really got enough money, then one solution is to go by coach. You just hop on at Lincoln and a simple 19 hours later, you arrive at your Spanish beach resort refreshed and in the middle of the night, the second night. To be fair, the first 4 hours were the worst. That got us to Dover. To lighten the load, one of the massively overweight drivers, who didn't happen to be driving at the time, put on a video. He taps his mic. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for our family film presentation. It's called Who Dares Wins, and I hope you enjoy it. He takes the VHS tape out of its box and then, as if the thought has occurred to him for the first time, says, obviously it's quite violent. And to be fair, there's some pretty strong language. He looks for a bit longer at the back of the cassette box, but I don't think there's much in the way of sex, as I recall, although actually, yeah. Anyway, as I say, there's some fairly strong language, so if anyway, it's bloody good. The hero of Who Dares Wins is, of course, played by the actor Lewis Collins, who had made his name in the professionals by driving through walls of empty cardboard boxes in a Ford Capri. On the occasions I was allowed to stay up and watch, I thought it was ace, fab, and brill. A digression. In a London pub in 1998, I'm describing how we played the professionals at primary school. All join up for playing, the professionals, no girls. I say, I was always Cowley. Roger Baxter and Matthew Tellis took it in turns to be Bodie or Doyle. David Mitchell puts his pint down in surprise. How come you always got to be Cowley? Well, they hang on. What do you mean, got to be Cowley? No one wanted to be Cowley. What are you talking about? Cowley was in charge. Cowley gave the orders. Yeah, Rob was a spoiled boy, wasn't he? I don't know, y'all crazy. Oh, God. I have no idea. I've never seen the professionals. I don't know about Cowley. What? So at your school, everyone wanted to be Cowley? Yes. Seriously, you were all queuing up to be Cowley. I don't remember a queue, but yes, essentially. He takes the drag on a cigarette I just gave him. To be fair, he says, we were quite weird, our little gang. It's probably more normal to want to be the macho men. David will spend his 20s being the only example I've ever known of a successful social smoker. He bums a couple of fags in the pub, good luck with that, American readers, and then doesn't dream of having another the following morning. I was more of a social smoker when I smoked as well, I have to say. But anyway, that was a long time ago and it didn't last very long. So please don't judge me too harshly. Um, I don't mind this because every now and then he'll turn up with a pack of 10 and hand them over as a contribution to an ongoing tobacco kitty where I keep the change. I mean the spare cigarettes rather than the mutation of a cancer cell, although at some point I suppose I'll be keeping that change too. We're fishing for ideas. We've just landed one of our first proper writing jobs, coming up with sketches for Armstrong and Miller on Channel 4. We go to the pub, get a couple of notebooks out, and start talking. The aim isn't especially to make each other laugh because that would make us feel conscious. It's more that we just chat while keeping half an eye out for a funny idea creeping up on us. They always do. They wander in from the edges of sight. You look straight at them, they disappear like faint stars. You wait until they're in plain view before stealthily picking up a pen. Then you've got them. Talking about TV is typical of us on these occasions, but talking about school is not. We're in our mid-20s and too young to find children interesting. On the couch, Lewis Collins has just done his usual thing of carrying out a series of extrajudicial killings with varying degrees of regret. He's momentarily quite sad when his terrorist girlfriend gets mown down in a hail of SAS bullets, but quickly pulls himself together and shoots everyone else. I'm still thinking about how exciting it all was when a boy approaches with a mini chessboard and asks if I want to play. Derek has taught me the rules, and he even let me win our first game, so I might as well. The boy Gareth sets up the tiny pieces and asks me to go first. I advance a middle pawn 2 spaces as per the classic opening moves I've seen on play chess in the holiday mornings. Gareth responds by jumping his queen into the space the pawn just vacated. Check, he announces. Right, I wonder if I should say something. His queen is adjacent to mine, so I take it. He frowns at this for a second, but then advances one of his pawns 4 spaces forwards and 1 to the left. Check. I see. Shall I join in with the chess moves from Planet Git? Would that be fun, or would it make the whole thing even more meaningless than it already is? I stick to the script and move a knight correctly. Gareth is quick to object. You can't do that. You're in check. Christ, okay. I take his stupid pawn with a madly illegal move of my queen's bishop. He doesn't seem to mind that. He just parachutes in another random piece next to my king. Check. This is making me so unhappy. I want to cry. What am I supposed to do with this pillock? Talk to him, engage with him, teach him the rules? It's out of the question. I make a show of looking at the board very closely. It's mate, I think. Yep, it's checkmate. Well done. Gareth is concerned. Are you sure? I mean, you could always. His hand starts moving towards my king, and he's clearly about to suggest something demented. Nope, that's checkmate all right. Well done. Okay, shall we play again? No. Well done. I can't think of anything to add to this, so I just repeat no and shake my head at him. He abruptly packs up his chess set and goes away. I get the feeling I could have handled that better, but don't know how. Many years later, I'll be talking to a friend, not David, but another comedy writer who puzzlingly seems to have moved from one terraced house to an almost identical one in a slightly different part of Brixton. He tells me that in the last place, the neighbors started using his bins for their overflowing rubbish. I asked him, "What did you say?" "Oh, God, I didn't say anything," he replies. "No, we decided it would be easier to move house." This makes me laugh for about 3 minutes. I know he's joking, but mainly I'm enjoying the idea that I'm not the only grown man who will go to incredible lengths to avoid an awkward conversation, especially with a rule breaker. Yes, I'm looking at you, Gareth. I'm also looking at me. Getting rid of Gareth won't be the last time I resort to low cunning because I haven't got the social skills for anything better. It's not quite the same thing as good manners. You have to improvise. You have to work out at lightning speed how best to respect the person with whom you're sharing this bit of space. There are no fixed rules to this game. Let's call it human interaction. But you always sense when someone else is cheating. The grown up thing to do is to address it, like the centimeter of overhang on a standard 2-ply lube roll that got itself out of sync. It's a situation that won't resolve itself. Yoda, you're a nasty, foul little dirty rat. I don't know what's going on with you and your mind, you dirty, dirty, foul little creature. And those of you, I get your little jokes, okay? Very funny. I'm not going to ask Court about that. Thank you. But this is so, y'all are so just. Come on. Clean it up, guys. Come on. Don't hoe there, kids. Loud. Yeah, y'all are lying. Y'all are too into this subject to, yeah. I can't. I cannot. Don't be me in the y'all group. Oh, but no, I mean that I'm at least when I say y'all, I just mean y'all know who I'm addressing in the chat. Oh, I'm crying. I'm crying. Lord, give me strength. I'll just get back to if I just go back to reading the book, maybe they'll stop. Okay, let's see. Where were we? Okay. But some of us don't want to resolve it. Some of us just tear the ragged bits of loo roll off and think someone else will deal with Gareth. Even when other people don't cheat, there's always the option of walking away. People who do a lot of walking away from human interaction are called unsociable or sometimes writers. Girls, I think, are told from an early age that they need to be good at human interaction, boys less so. Those of us who catch up, and I'm a man who will always nod a friendly hello to fellow parents at the school gates before immediately getting my phone out, Friendly hello equals manners. Phone equals still S word at human interaction. Only stand a chance of doing so with the addition of an ace card, confidence. You might think I've had a massive advantage when it came to acquiring confidence, because as a white boy in a rich, free Western country, I was under the heavy impression that this was my world and I was the default human. But that's not confidence. That's just a wrong-headed sense of entitlement. Well, I mean, we all know the difference between a man who's truly confident and a man who's, you know, just entitled. There's a very clear difference. I don't know. I think he was just okay. Bye, Grace. Have a good night. Thank you, hon. As iron sharpens iron, so man sharpens man, brother. Lord. Was Robert crying because he was losing at chess, or was he sad because the person he was playing against didn't know how to play or was senile, maybe? I think the guy did a illegal move and he didn't call it out at the time. He just let the guy get away with it. And the guy knew he was letting him get away with it. I think he handled that well, honestly. He didn't really want to play with him. I think I would do something similar, honestly. You want to play again? No. Less is more sometimes. You don't always have to go off on people or call them out. Sometimes let them hang themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to fight every battle. The battle's already won. If they're doing wrong, they will succumb to it. Like, people who have to win every battle are just silly. Waste of time and energy. Power fighting, you try that mess. How's it? Yoda does not play about chess. At least call him a cheater. I don't know. I like to keep silent. I like to watch people. I like to see people's dirt and not say a thing. But keep it up here and let them know that I know. That's more fun. That's more fun. Because that works on their guilt inside. That turns it back on them. They know they did wrong, and they know that you know. But hey, I mean, handle your business how you handle your business. I'm a girl. I play the long game. I think in 10 years down the line, like, you know, how am I going to work on this person, you know? When is it going to finally come up that you cheat at chess? When is the justice? I want to see it unfold. I want to see what God's going to do. Anyway, let's continue. Okay. When it comes to the gaining of genuine confidence and genuine self-respect, even the supposed default humans need a surprising amount of encouragement. What they need, like everyone else, is A, one thing to be good at, and B, one person to notice. With me, that starts at school. It starts with Mrs. Slater. He loved this Mrs. Slater, y'all. Mrs. Slater was his girl. All right. She took an interest. Robert, I don't suppose you could be persuaded to step into the breach. It's about as close to a national emergency as we're ever going to face. In 1986, the end of my second year at QEGS, Queen Elizabeth's grammar school, and I'm 13. Mrs. Slater is being a bit twinkly, but the situation is serious. One of the QEGS's bad traditions is the Eisteddfod. Eistedfod. That sounds like a Viking term. Eistedfod. Or German. Eistedfod. I mean, there's parts of like northern England that were, well, large parts of England that were conquered by the Vikings. So they do have that influence. In certain areas, they have like a larger, they're part of the population or what eventually became the population. England's a surprisingly like, we don't think about it in these terms now because like, especially as Americans, we just think white, but a lot of different ethnicities make up these small places sometimes. Okay, so let's see. Not ethnicities, but like, different stock. Is it ethnicities? Anyway, where the three forms, okay, so the Eistedfod is where the three forms that make up the second year compete with each other in drama, music, and gymnastics in front of an audience of parents. For our form, Pete Garvey, he of the secret PG Wodehouse joy and the inventing of ball death, has written a 10-minute comic play set in the year 2000 in which we all meet for a class reunion. He has given himself the main part of narrator, who has also had a huge material success. He arrives at the reunion in a Daimler driven by his chauffeur, Webb. That's funny. Unfortunately for Garvey, and with far-reaching implications for Webb, Pete goes to hospital with appendicitis for 2 days before the performance. Mrs. Slater is looking at me expectantly. Jesus, what would Han Solo do? Screw that. What would Jesus do? The idea of stepping into the main part is absurd. Up until now, the biggest part I've had to cope with was a one-liner in a Coningsby Junior School nativity. As King Herod's captain of the guard, I'd made an entrance by stepping on my own cloak, choking, and then recovering just enough to say, "Someone threatens you, my lord?" I was on stage for about 80 seconds and hated every one of them. Acting was embarrassing, which was a pity because I would love to be an actor. Ideally, I would be an actor without having to do any acting. But something has happened while we've been rehearsing Pete's play during Mrs. Slater's English lessons, something quite unexpected. I love it. The character of Webb is a chauffeur, but he's also kind of a butler. Pete's encounter with Right Ho Jeeves has made an impression, and although most of my lines are either "indeed, sir," or "no doubt, sir," I think I have a good idea about how to say them. It will be a few years until Stephen Fry gives his Jeeves masterclass on ITV, and I haven't seen any of the films. But I did borrow the book the moment Pete put it back on the shelf. Some of it really makes me laugh, and I get the idea that Jeeves is a straight man, like Tommy Cannon from Cannon and Ball, probably a bit more posh and clever, something like that. Yeah, it's interesting that even though Jeeves, this character of Jeeves, is a servant, he's considered posh. Viking jokes, those Vikes. Good for you, Yoda. It's been so long since I've played chess. I did come across a really beautiful chess set at a local coffee shop that I've never actually been to. I need to visit it sometime. Um, yeah, it was gorgeous. I took a picture of it, actually posted it on my Instagram. So go check out Terri Strange on Instagram. It's my latest post if you want to see it. But yeah, I haven't played it in years. Oh. Mm. Well, let's continue. I want to get through this chapter. Okay. So in the rehearsals, I play Jeeves like a posh Tommy Cannon, and form 2S starts to laugh. I stand with my arms forming a rigid V shape, ending in folded hands in front of my balls. a la canon, and start to relish the moments when everyone expects me to say, "Indeed, sir." It becomes obvious that once you've got their attention, you can wait, and you can make them wait with you. In fact, the longer you make them wait for "Indeed, sir," the bigger the laugh will be when you say it. Confusingly, if you wait too long, they won't laugh at all. So I start to listen to the audience. I start to time it. The timing depends on what I hear from them, but also what I hear from a little internal clock that I seem to have. It's always been there somehow, but it's only been useful around best friends. Roger, I suspect, likes me because I'm funny. Shout out to the funny people. That yawn. Was it a good one? Did you like that yawn? Is it catching y'all? Were I good? Was I good? No, I was never really good at chess. I only played it against my dad, really. I played my friend Samuel once, but he cheated. He cheated, but it was fine. It was fine. He thinks it's that you cheated. How? But Yoda's obviously like a mastermind. Like he's very clearly got a high IQ just from the interactions I've had with him. I don't know why. How long does it take me to move a piece? As long as it takes. I don't know. Yeah, well, I was like 19, 18 or 19 the last time I actually played chess. Really, I can't think of another time since then I've played it. Played quite a bit of Scrabble, and I played quite a bit of Uno with my neighbor. She always breaks out the Uno, and it's fun. I played Sorry with her as well. That was fun. The chickens are sleeping without me now. I hope so. You keep chickens? I can't stand the things. I find them so vile. Ugh. And they're always dying and stuff. Like they just drag. And they're loud. Ugh. Chipolo. Yes, that's right. That's Spanish for chicken. Oh, God. Y'all, oh, I'm hurting. Mm, give me a moment. Oh, let's see. Oh, God, I gotta get to the farmer's market and buy some cookies. For goodness sakes. Okay. Put this phone down in a way. Got too much stuff on my desk. Y'all, I gotta clean my desk again. I gotta clean my desk all the time. It just piles up. I'm such a messy desk gal. All right. It's not the only place in my house that's a mess, so we'll let it be. It is what it is. You just have those spots, at least I do, where I need to, or it just gets out of hand quickly because I just put things there. Mm. I guess they end up there because it's where I spend so much time. Chickens are awesome. They eat all types of stuff. Okay, I mean, I get the practicality of having them and stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't like them. I've known people who've had them. It doesn't seem like, it seems like a lot of work. That's all. It seems like a lot of work that I don't want to do, that I'm not doing. That's what it seems like. I'm not about that. I'm going to raise chickens and pigeons. Oh, not pigeons. I love pigeons. Have you eaten pigeon? I've never eaten pigeon. I feel like I would be sad if I ate a pigeon. I'm so fond of them. They're such dear little animals. I don't know. I don't know what it is about them. They're just so pitiful and charming at the same time. I don't pigeons. They're sweet. They really. I don't know. I get all emotional about them sometimes. They're so dear. They're so fun. I love to stop and enjoy them, watch them. They're funny. They're sweet. I don't know. A lot of birds are sweet. I don't think birds get as much credit for being sweet. Some chickens are nasty though too. And birds, chickens are emotional. I find not just chickens. I don't mean chickens. I mean birds in general. They're very emotional. I never really expected that until I actually interacted with them. But yeah, they really do express themselves a lot. It's interesting. Parrots can solve crimes. I've heard. Dijon Paz says they're a lot of work and that's why they're fun. I love sweating out in the hot sun and singing spirituals. Nothing like it. That ain't me. I'm not built like that. I'm just not built for that. I ain't built for that. You got them good genes, I guess. I'm way too delicate for all that. I can't be doing all that. But hey, if they make you happy, they make you happy. They would not make me happy. Yeah, exactly. They're emotional as a mug. I'm glad you agree. Yeah. Not just parrots. I've seen all kinds of birds get they are so emotional. They're very interesting to watch. They're way more emotional than other animals, I've noticed. I learned Thai because I was sick of eating chicken. Terri staying inside in the AC. Indeed. Well, I don't have the AC running most of the time. I don't like it so much. I get cold so fast with it on, but there's times during the day when I do have to have it on. But I can't leave it on for too long because then I get cold. At night, I put it on at night just to kind of make sure the house stays cool. And it runs, it'll go off. It'll go on and then go off. Do I have blood slides in my AC unit? Blood slides? What are blood slides? Yes, a rooster will fight to the death. I've heard things, yes. Okay, so let's see. Now I'm being funny in front of people I've only known for a year. Presumably, on the night of the show, I'll have to be funny in front of people I've never met. That's quite a leap, but manageable as long as I only have to say, "Indeed, sir." But the main part, that's massive. Mrs. Slater doesn't look like she's about to offer it to anyone else. I think to myself that I'm being told to do it. Well, that's fine then, because I didn't have a choice. If I'm a disaster, it will be her fault. I shrug and say, yeah, all right. Form 2S, win the Eisted fought. There's a dodgy moment in the gymnastics round because Zelda Linseed has athlete's foot, so has to scale the climbing rope in trainers rather than the regulation bare feet. Although this means the judges can't tell if she's pointing her toes, although she swears indignantly that she is. The drama round, though, we're a smash hit. Pete's narrator is surrounded by idiots, and I play him as an exasperated Basil Fawlty. When I say play him as, I mean do an impression of. Who's seen Fawlty Towers in the chat? Press 1 if you've watched Fawlty Towers. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. But the laughter comes in all the right places. Mum is standing at the back, smiling nervously and giving me a discreet thumbs up. There's some post-show milling around with coffee, and people are looking at me in a way I've never seen before. It's weird enough that they're looking at me at all. That night, we were all in the living room watching the BBC sitcom No Place Like Home, starring William Gaunt and a young Martin Clunes. What would it take, I wonder, to be allowed to do that as your job? It really doesn't look that hard. Does it look easy because they're very good at it, or is it just easy? They don't seem to be doing it as well as John Cleese does it. Do they know? Do they go to the pub afterwards and say, well, we can't all be John Cleese? Or is it because of the script? Would the young tall one with the big ears be as funny as John Cleese if he had some funnier lines? Maybe he would. This is serious. I lean in and look hard for something that Mr. Clunes is doing that I couldn't do just as well. For a start, he's a grown-up who looks like he ought to be on TV rather than a Lincolnshire schoolboy who obviously mustn't. Oh dear, Robert, Robert was cute, okay, and he thought he shouldn't be on TV. Oh, I love possums. I love them. They're so sweet. Oh my God, Court, your wolf killed a mama possum and a baby, but you saved 2 of the other babies. God, I would love to hold a possum. I hear they're so fun to hold. They seem like the ones I've come across in the wild were just incredible. I've been like blown away every time. Just, they're so touching when you see them. God. And they see you. They're just so, I don't know. That little face. You grab them by the tail. Oh, poor baby. Poor baby got grabbed by the tail. Oh my goodness. You caught an armadillo. I've never seen an armadillo have I seen one at like a zoo or something? I can't recall. Samuel is not holding any possum. Yoda says you're a jeweler. What? Oh, he's talking to Point Fire. They was big possums. Their babies are so cute too. I love when you see like videos of a mama possum with all her babies hanging off of her. It's so cute. It's like, oh, they're little babies. I mean, what baby animal isn't sweet, but like the little possums, oh goodness. Oh. Okay, enough of me gushing about the baby animals, y'all. Okay. And he's very clear and confident, and he talks with that accent from the south of England that so many funny people on TV have. He just looks like he belongs there. How did he do that? Suddenly, I have a name for that feeling I had in Dad's car on the way back from the flash dance fireworks. That feeling, the one that made me blush, was an overwhelming desire to be famous. Because that would help, wouldn't it? Dads don't hit famous children, right? They don't ignore them either. They take them fishing. You can be quiet when you're famous, but people can't ignore you. Not really. They look at you the way they did tonight after the ice had thawed. It's a look I could get used to. When you're famous, people look at you like they're trying to figure something out. Oh, indeed, that is true. And the other boys imagine doing something so wildly beyond the reach of the other boys. What would I care for their wasps and nettles and football and swimming and maths and fighting and science and shandy if I could do this one thing that none of them could do? So I'll be famous. And funny writing and acting is what I'll be famous for. Hey, good for him. Go, Robert. Go, Robert. The wolf killed a big armadillo too. He popped it open like a grape. He's brutal. Oh my God, Court. I've seen you in video. You were egging him on in his killing. You were like, get him, wolf. Get him. Get him. Get that shoe. I was hearing it. I was like, oh, dang. Wolf's going crazy. Daddy's like, get him. And he's just like going off. Like, you worked him up to kill that armadillo, didn't you, Court? You were standing over him like, get him, Wolf. Did y'all like my Court impression? Get him. Get that shoe. Okay, anyway. That will help because famous people are safe. Famous people don't have problems, and they can probably have the radiator on as often as they like. And maybe girls like them. He looked like that and he thinks girls didn't like him. I would have been crushing hard on Robert. I love blondes. I don't care. Those pretty curly, like, I just thought his, like, I don't know. I mean, he's kind of, he ain't what he was, We all lose our charms in the end. But he's definitely cute. When he was young, he's definitely cute. Come on. He a wolf, not a dog. I would not let him kill it, Chew. I like blondes better too. I don't really have a preference about that, to be honest. Yeah. Like, I don't have like some sort of, I can appreciate the beauty of many different people, and all the hair colors, I've crushed on them all. Yeah, I wouldn't say I like them better. I don't like them better. Okay, so let's see. That's decided then. Unfortunately, the same week that I start to wonder if being funny can be used to impress girls, my body starts to make a chaotic, head swiveling, nipple swelling reply. Puberty rushes in like a pyrophobic arsonist, chucking petrol bombs in all directions while screaming, "What are you doing about the fucking fire?" The first girl I ever danced with was Kathy Shepard. Her dad was a landlord of a small local pub, and he closed it one night for her 13th birthday party. Most of 2S were there. Kathy's older sister, Chrissy, was left to supervise. Before the dancing came Spin the Bottle, I didn't think it was possible to be this bored and this embarrassed at the same time. Oh, not Spin the Bottle. Oh, dear. Never turn your back on a wolf, y'all. They waiting to go wild on you. Is he a full wolf or is he like a hybrid? This is the black dog, right? I mean, call him Wolf. Get him, Wolf. Get him. It's a Mexican wolf. I don't know. Is it like a, oh, okay. Is there like a, I don't know much about it. He seems like a very charming animal. But yes, I have heard that about them. I have heard that about wolves, that they do, They're beautiful animals, though, aren't they? They really are. I adore them. Yeah. He is a beauty. I thought I was, as I watched the videos of him, I was very just thinking how interesting it would be to interact with him as an animal. Does he like pats? Can you pat him and cuddle him? Because I'd be trying to cuddle that wolf. I'm out to tame all the animals. Send me your bears. I'm gonna mesmerize them. Oh, I love animals. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, I didn't. Okay. There was no the X factor in the 20th century, so there was nothing in the culture to prepare me for this level of tedium and mortification. Oh, yeah, the X factor. He went for the X factor, y'all. Actually, I tell a lie. There was the night that my brother Mark's friend Larry was made to do some disco dancing in the bungalow kitchen on a Friday night. Larry had come around, ready to go out. Mark mentioned that Larry had just won an inter-county disco competition and encouraged him to do some disco dancing right there in the kitchen. It's not big, our kitchen. Larry tried to demur, but no is not a word for Fonzie's, and Mark was already at the record player putting on Stool Pigeon by Kid Creole and the Coconuts. He used to have a cat he liked, but it ran away when Lil Killer showed up. Yeah, I remember when Nero came into my life, there was a feral cat in the neighborhood that I mean she was very sweet. She would come right into my house and visit and cuddle and like she even sat and like hung out with me a number of times. But yeah, after he came into my life, she got very pissy and yeah, he kind of chased her off. And then yeah, she ended up dying. That was sad. I remember knocking on my neighbor's door because he was very fond of her. She just died in our yard. Like it was a shared yard that I had when I lived in Yuma. So yeah, I went over knocking on Larry's door because I knew he was fond of this cat as well. And I was like, "Yo, that cat's dead." And he was like, "Oh man, that ruins my day." Like, and then he said he would take care of the body. So I guess he's the one, yeah, because he was like, "I'll take care of it." And then there was this black cat on the property that died. Um, because there was like there's just such a feral cat problem in this town, y'all. My dad would blame. Well, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, my cat's name is Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious. He's a fighter. I knew somebody who had a fish named Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious. Interesting. You have a cat named Sid Vicious too. What is it about Sid Vicious that appeals to you guys? My goodness. Rest in peace. Do y'all think he killed Nancy? Press one in the chat if you think he killed Nancy. Press two if you think it was someone else. Sid was a natural terrorist, I suppose. Yeah. It's an awful story. All right, Samuel's based believes he was a killer. Yeah. I remember having a picture of him that I cut out of a magazine and put like on my binder. You know how in school you would have like those plastic 3-ring binders, and I had one that had the photo covers, and you could put different photographs in them, or you could slip in and do different designs. So I did, or have like collages in them. So yeah, I did kind of a collage, and I put a picture of Sid Vicious in it, and my dad was so pissed with me. He was like, "Take it out, Terry. Take it out." He's like, "That man's a murderer. You don't have a murderer on your school binder." But I disobeyed him, y'all. I never took it out. I'm sorry, Dad. You only have a feral cat now. I saw that cat. I saw that cat. That cat was inside when I saw it. You posted a video of it. I bet you cuddle that cat at night, Court. I bet that cat snuggles up with you at nighttime. Gets right in the bed, gets right under your arms. He's a killer, Terry. He's bad to the bone. Yeah, I've had cats who were like, yeah, great killers. Every day they're killing some other animal. Never had a cat with a concave face. Interesting. I didn't know that Sid Vicious killed somebody. Are you serious, Yoda? Yeah, he killed Nancy Spungen, his girlfriend. It's terrible. It's a terrible story. I saw Malcolm McLaren's grave. I visited it. I have a picture of it somewhere on like my Facebook. Filmed his grift as he created it. He was definitely an interesting one to be admired in some regards. Yeah, he has an interesting grave. There's a portrait of his face on the cover of it. It's like a stone, or it's like a stone statue. Yeah, not portrait, but stone statue. It kind of carves out of his grave. If you ever are in London, I highly recommend going to Highgate Cemetery. I had an interesting time there. It was beautiful, and there were so many interesting graves of different people. But yeah, I went there to see Karl Marx, obviously, and that is worth seeing as well. And there's a ton of like famous socialists that are buried around him, actually. So, and then you can also go off. There's a path. So they have the like big monument for him, his grave. That was, I think, purchased in the 50s by the Communist Party of Great Britain. But yeah, the grave site used to be kind of up this narrow little path that's right next to where his current, where his resting place is now. And yeah, if you walk up it, there's about halfway through, there's a broken tablet that was just like a square rectangle that was his family's resting place for a long time. And so in the 50s, like the Communist Party did fundraising and decided to give him a better kind of monument at his gravesite. So yeah, they moved the corpses in there. So yeah, yeah, they were all buried on top of each other. There used to be like family grave plots like that. I think that's kind of nice. I like when I go to a cemetery and you see like a family plot, all the people buried together. There's something kind of, I don't know, nice about it in a way. I find them interesting places to think. I get some of my best thinking done as I'm, thinking about mortality. It puts things in perspective. And they can be quite beautiful too. There's a level of reverence, that people have for their departed loved ones. So anyway, long story short, yes, memento mori, indeed. Well, let's get back to Robert's bookie here. We're at 2 hours. Flat-faced or brachycephalic cat breeds are, as their name indicates, characterized by flat faces and short snouts, similar to bulldog and pug dog breeds. I've never had one of those. So, like, I'm thinking of the Persian cats and the other, like, Himalayans and short, like, exotic short hairs, different ones that have that little smush face. They're very cute, but they're all very weird. I remember my aunt had this one. He was such a prince. I loved him. And Growing up, there were times I would take care of him. He was this orange Persian, and he was called Gandhi Dancer. He was the most charming sweet boy, I have to say. But he was very particular and very moody. And I don't know. He was hard to win over. Do you think I'm a better reader than Joelle? Thank you. Yeah, let's see you do it before you start talking smack. Have you pronounced that word before? Have you read that word out loud? I haven't come across it before. Yeah, hard to scratch their noses. Churchill off Pet Cemetery. I love Pet Cemetery. Oh, I like Russian blues. They're very pretty. Joelle struggles. I love when Joelle reads. I've been watching the Get a Job Savage Moments. And the ones like with Joelle reading the super chats are incredible. Jesse's like, oh Lord, he black. He can't read. He can't read good, y'all. He black. It is funny. It's quite funny. Okay, let's see. So yeah, we're going to learn about, okay. I see from a quick search that stool pigeon is 3 minutes and 25 seconds long. I think for Larry it lasted about a week. By Tuesday, Mark was supportively turning up the volume on the record player. On Wednesday, Mom briefly tried clapping to the beat in case that might help. Towards the weekend, Larry said not for the first or last time that there wasn't really room to do a proper spin. On it went. Sometimes you just have to see these things through. For Larry to give up, or for anyone to put Larry out of his obvious misery, would be like leaving the pub with an unfinished pint on the table. It would be a male thing, a working class thing, a British thing, or a human thing. But sometimes you're in the middle of a big mistake and you just keep going for the allotted time. So, spin the bottle. Almost everyone sits in a circle on the floor, watching the neck of the bottle go round like a roulette wheel in the glum casino of enforced snogging. It goes without saying that the snogging will be strictly heterosexual. Sure, you might have to kiss someone you don't want to kiss, but there are limits. The only person I want to kiss, and to kiss her would make my decade, is Tiffany Rampling, friend of Zelda, the younger sister of my future dream girl, Tess Rampling. Yes, that's right. One day I will adore Tess and get nowhere. But only after 2 years of getting nowhere with her sister, Tiffany. That is a savage moment. I mean, so savage. Oh, Lord. It's so funny. I was watching that. Well, I'm not going to get into that. But they're funny. They're very funny. It's funny seeing all of them because, yeah, being kind of new to the JLP universe, I haven't watched these boys for years. So it's kind of sweet to see them like younger and doing different things. And yeah. Are you talking about Joelle? Can you imagine him trying to go on a date with a typical black chick with 20 pounds, with a 20-pound hair hat? Oh dear. I don't know. I don't think Joelle could be with anyone typical. I don't think he's very typical, is he? He's a bit different, cut from a different cloth than like basic people, I would say. So, okay. back to his spin the bottle. Tiffany, of course, is not playing spin the bottle. She and Zelda are sitting aloof on bar stools, watching the game and shaking their heads in disgust. I go to the bar and help myself to another Coke. Tiffany recrosses her legs and says, "Why are you playing that immature game, Webb? Why don't you just get off with whoever you want to get off with?" Tiffany, who would rather eat mud than kiss a boy her own age, is not making an offer here. I mumble something like, "It's not that simple," and return to the game. Tiffany and Zelda exchange world-weary glances. Later, the supervising Chrissy puts on some music and says to me conspiratorially, "Kathy wants a smooch with you, Robert. Shall I say yes?" I look over to a corner where the birthday girl is sitting watching her sister's proposal with a mixture of hope and utter mortification. I do my Han Solo shrug and say sure. Chrissy excitedly beckons Kathy, who now crosses the room, literally dragging her feet and rolling her eyes at the ceiling so violently I think she's going to break her neck. "Sorry about my sister," she says. "She's always embarrassing me like this." She really is embarrassed, but she also looks like she's quite pleased, or like she's pleased this is happening, which is fine by me. I quite like Kathy, although not as much as I like. I glance over to where Tiffany and Zelda were perched. They've disappeared somewhere. "Now then," says Chrissy, who is having a great time with this, "have either of you had a slow dance before?" We both shake our heads. "Right. Well, Robert, you put your hands here." Chrissy efficiently puts my hands on Kathy's waist. And Kathy, obviously, you put your hands around Robert's neck. Yoda! Yoda! Oh, and I'm not done, baby. I'm not done with the chapter. You mad at me? It's just getting good. It's just getting good. He dancing with a girl. I know. I know. It's late. I said I'd be. I know. I know. I'm sorry. I know. Being a teenager again sounds horrible. God, can you imagine? It was terrible. I was a mess. Oh, God. When I think of it now, I'm just mortified. Oh, to be young again. It is overrated. Okay, let's see. Mm. Okay, let's see. Kathy does a face like this is the stupidest idea she's ever heard and promptly does exactly as suggested. I've never been in such close proximity to a girl. She smells lovely. And now you just sway to the music, concludes Chrissy. There are a few other couples now, and it doesn't feel so bad. Not bad at all, in fact. The last track has just ended, and we hear the introduction to Feed the World by Band Aid. The trouble with Feed the World by Band Aid as a smooch track, however, is that even if you ignore the romantically underperforming topic of starving children, you are nevertheless quickly into an anthemic knees up while clinging onto a girl and solemnly rocking from side to side. Neither of us has the confidence to stop, so we just do this for the whole song. They danced to Feed the World by Band Aid, y'all. That's hilarious. Yeah. Who wouldn't? Okay, yeah. To be young with the mind of an older person, yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. Okay. At the end, we let go of each other with relief. I feel like I ought to bow or something, but instead, and with a novel rush of courage, I give her a kiss on the cheek. She looks around the room, nodding and smiling. "Yeah, thanks," she says. Tiffany and Zelda burst back in and fall over laughing hysterically. Oh, so that's where they were. They'd pinched a bottle of wine and got shit-faced in the car park. Okay, I get why he liked Tiffany. My baby. Oh, so baby right now. Oh, so baby right now. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is how you want me right now? What a good kitty. My kitty's so good. Man, there are some really good kitties in this world, but this kitty, my kitty, best kitty, hand down, hands down. They don't make good. Do they make kitties better than him? I never seen one. I never seen one. He's the best one there is. Yep. All right, all right. Put my check in the bank and shuck me some corn, girl. I'm hungry. I'm not shucking your corn. What do I look like? I'm not a corn shucker. Excuse me? I buy my corn pre-shucked. I don't do that. I'm not the one, Court. All kitty moms say that too. They better if they love their kitty. If they love their kitty. If they love their kitty. Mm-hmm. Oh, he told me to do it naked. Oh, Court. I was talking to Stacy. Oh, okay. But no, don't talk to women in my chat that way. It's just because it's a Friday night, y'all. Calm down. You're still inside. Okay, let's see. One of the people I'd been glad to see before Nan's funeral was Auntie Dot, Nan and Trudy's sister. Dot was another great aunt and a lively one. She lived on the outskirts of Cambridge, and True would sometimes take me for a visit at half term. It's a council house on an estate just off Newmarket Road. On previous visits, I had been with Dot and True to bingo, where I would get chips and join in. Anybody played the Court's an inactivist? I don't know what an inactivist is. Okay. Has anyone played bingo with their granny or great aunt? I have. I had a good time. This time I've decided that I'm too old to be hanging out in public with a pair of old ladies, or at least that's what I think I'm supposed to feel, so that's what I choose to do. Trudy asks if I'd like to come to bingo, and for the first time I say that I'd rather stay in and read. It's bullshit. I'd love to go out with them to bingo. I register the disappointment that flickers across True's face, but then she smiles. She's seen this all before. Still, I get the feeling that what happened to Mark and Andrew wasn't supposed to happen to Robert. But what did happen to Mark and Andrew? For all I know, age 13, either one of them would have enjoyed hanging out with the old ladies and would have been cool enough to say, "Nice one, True and Dot. I am a bit partial to a spot of bingo." I'd like to think so. Okay, you get your claws out of Mama's shirt. What are you doing? Stop. Let go. No. Let go of my shirt. Don't do that. Damn. Inactivist. Intactivist. 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 What? Okay, anyway. I like to think so, but anyway, I'm nowhere near that cool. I have to go with the flow. And the flow is stop doing stuff you like when it's become somehow inappropriate. It's not so much act your age as act your gender. The tool rules are related. It's as if a boy can amateurishly muddle through, but a teenage boy has to turn pro. To be fair, I'm perfectly happy staying home alone with my current Doctor Who book. I'm in my bedroom reading in bed. It's a pity that the Doctor's companion, Nisa, has chosen to part company with the Doctor, staying behind to help with the space leper colony. But then I think, as I remove the last of my clothing, that's Nisa for you, beautiful and kind hearted. I put the book to one side and think about beautiful Nisa and how on the space leper colony she wouldn't have anyone to help her if, for example, she somehow got a splinter in her vagina. Is he going to talk about something? Oh man. I don't want to know. Can you all not? You all are embarrassing me with this. Well, I've learned a new term today. You're never too old to learn something, right? And I have learned a new term I have not heard before. Yoda. Why does my lovely chat descend into this kind of madness? Why? What have I done to deserve this? Why can't it be pleasant things you all talk about? Why does it have to be so vulgar? Anyway. Okay, so let's see. I'm not sure how often this happens, but I'm pretty sure that if Nisa had a splinter in her vagina, I'd be a good person to call. I'd probably be one of an elite squadron of teen space doctors who happen to be passing through. Nisa and I would probably get chatting in the TV lounge of the space leper colony, and relieved to be talking to someone who didn't have space leprosy for a change, she would confide her embarrassing predicament. After I had reassured her about my discretion and experience, she would gratefully allow me to extract the splinter with infinite care and precision using my teeth. At that point, and recalling the diagrams I'd learned at the Elite Teen Doctor Space Academy. Okay. I'm going to skip the next paragraph, y'all. There are some things I cannot read. I think I've read enough. Y'all put it together. He's a teen boy having a fantasy. My book is nasty too. Yes. It seems that our young Robert has discovered the big M. The big M. And he's doing the big M. I don't think I can read this. Okay, there's a full-length mirror in the bathroom, and I turned to see myself in it, still naked and more than a touch flushed. Was God watching? Was Nan watching? Holy crap. No, surely they've got better things to do. Should I feel ashamed? I do feel ashamed and don't want to see myself like this. I streak back to the bedroom and get dressed. Still, that was amazing. That was bloody amazing. Who can I tell about this amazingness? Not Tiffany or Zelda, obviously. Certainly not my brothers. Not Pete Barbie, who's probably been doing it for years. Oh, yeah, Will. Maybe. It's the kind of thing I could tell Will. No, he's not, Yoda. He's talking, his first, apparently, fantasy was about doing things that you've described in the chat today. His first fantasy involved that kind of scenario. I hate y'all. I hate you, Yoda. Stop it. Stop. Stop. All right. I think that was chapter 5. All right. Yeah, that was chapter 5. All right. This is interesting. It's going to get gay next chapter, apparently. Who's ready? Who's ready to hear about our young Robert's forays into gayness? Oh my goodness. What a night. Interesting stuff to include. I guess it is a part of a boy's coming of age. I remember hearing stories about my friends' sons when they hit that time of puberty and the awkwardness of it. Anyway. Indeed, Court. I think he has some kind of kink for this kind of thing. It's his fetish. I don't know. Well, y'all, great reading tonight. I look forward to seeing you again sometime very soon. So, cheers for showing up and making this a fun live. Keeping it going in the chat, even though it was often inappropriate, you know. Yes, shout out to Court Green. He's a real one. Oh, goodness. Okay, y'all. Well, have a good night. Yeah, keep it strange, right? Back on that track. Keep it strange. We'll be in touch again. Bye.